Nanking, a great Chinese city of 6 million souls. Close to its center, there's a monument to a man many Chinese still call the good person of Nanking, John Rabe, a German and a Nazi. He's worshipped here as a hero, a living Buddha. In the West, he's unknown. No one remembers that he saved the lives of more than 200,000 people. At the massacre of Nanking, this, one of the great war crimes of the 20th century, took place more than 70 years ago. When the Japanese took this city, looting, raping and murdering, Rabe was there to witness the atrocity. He was an ordinary middle manager at an engineering company. Today, only his diaries bear witness to what he achieved. His grandson looks after them. The testimony of a man who worshipped Hitler and did good deeds, who stubbornly pursued a simple idea and saved hundreds of thousands of lives. The battle for Shanghai, the beginning of the Japanese invasion of China. The Japanese Empire has used a small firefight as a pretext to launch a massive incursion. The Japanese plan calls for the capture of Shanghai in 3 days, but Tokyo has miscalculated. The Chinese army puts up fierce resistance. Hundreds of thousands die. Shanghai doesn't fall until the 9th of November, 3 months later. The strategy of the quick victory has failed. 70,000 Japanese soldiers have been killed.
As a result of that, there was a very heightened sense for revenge among the Japanese troops, down to the ordinary soldier who had lost his comrade. And this, in some ways, was one of the causes for the behavior of the Japanese troops after the Battle of Shanghai.
New orders are issued. March on Nanjing, then Nanking, China's capital, 270 kilometers to the west. But Japanese troops are exhausted and their supply lines are almost non-existent. They advance, leaving a bloody trail of pillage and murder. Within days, the first bombs are falling on Nanking, in what soon becomes a daily assault. John Rabe is on vacation far away from Nanking. He hurries back to the office and his work for Siemens, the German industrial giant. He knows the city only has weeks before the Japanese arrive. He can follow their progress via Radio Shanghai, still broadcasting after the takeover. Since the attack on Shanghai, John Rabe has kept a diary. The early entries make depressing reading.
All the wealthy Chinese have long ago begun to flee up the Yangtze. Many Americans and Germans have gone with them.
Hundreds of Western diplomats and businessmen have sent their families ahead of them to safety. They're staying only long enough to wind up their affairs. John Rabe is lucky. His wife Dora is staying on at their vacation resort. His children and grandchildren have already left China. Rabe must make a decision.
But there is one moral point I cannot get past. Our Chinese servants and employees all look up to their master. These poor serving classes simply do not know what to do. Have I the right to run away under these circumstances? I think not. Anyone who has ever held the hand of a Chinese child for hours on end, squatting in a dugout during an air raid, will know what I mean.
Mein Großvater war hanseatischer Kaufmann. Er war pflichtbewusst und korrekt im Umgang mit seinem Arbeitgeber und seinen Kunden. In seinem privaten Umfeld war er dominant, aber sonst war er eigentlich ein schlichter und bescheidener Mensch.
A few others will also stay in the city. Georg Rosen, a diplomat at the German embassy, and 2 American missionaries, Minnie Vautrin and John McGee. They all know each other from Nanking's exclusive international club, but all they really have in common at this moment is their decision to remain in the doomed city. They've turned their backs on the river Yangtze, the only sure means of escape. Nanking has always been a fortress city, protected by 35 kilometers of city wall, 15 meters high. But in the 20th century, a wall like this won't hold up the invaders. It'll confine the inhabitants like rats in a trap. Behind the city is the Yangtze. There is no bridge. But Rabe and his colleagues come up with a daring idea. With the remaining foreign community, they could try to create a protection zone inside the city for women, children, and the elderly. It could cover several square kilometers. They know from Shanghai that something like this is feasible. Only now is it possible to tell the story of how Rabe and his colleagues put their plan to action. Historian Huang Huiying has trawled the Nanjing city archives to reconstruct the events.